Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be starting a series where I am going to be looking at certain prospects that I believe the Nuggets should take. Most of them are going to be late round picks because I don't really see the Nuggets trading up, and they have a mid-20s pick. I'm not exactly sure where they are picking, but I'm going to be looking at, prospects in that kind of range. So don't expect me to do Cade Cunningham initially, or Josh Green, or Evan Mobley. No one like that. I might get to them in the future. If you guys really like this content, I can certainly do that. But I am going to be looking at, late first round prospects, that kind of area. So today we are going to be looking at a guard from Illinois. Dosunmu is how I've been told is pronounced. I could be pronouncing that wrong, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But I have watched a few games from him. I have watched 4 games of film, and I think that's enough to get a general idea of a prospect. I might not get everything exactly right because I don't watch much college basketball myself, but I have tried to make sure everything is relatively accurate, and I've sent this to my friend Noah Terranova, who is also a draft YouTuber who I would recommend going to if you want, just quality content in general. He doesn't make exclusively draft things, but he does some draft stuff, and he is a very smart guy. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Go check him out after you're done with this video. So, AO is a very solid all-around guard from Illinois. He is a junior entering into this draft. He's, 21 years old. He is a very solid prospect, but he's not a super high-end draft pick. He's not expected to go into the lottery. And, yeah, I watched him, and the first thing I noticed about his game is that he is a very solid defender. And that is something that the Nuggets need desperately and quickly, because the thing with the Nuggets is in these playoffs, you saw that they needed perimeter defense, and AO provides a lot of that. He is fantastic in that area of the game, and he will provide you with good perimeter defense, off-ball defense, on-ball defense, whatever you need him to. He will defend like a motherfucker. And that is one of the first things I noticed about his game, because he always stuck with his man, and that is a thing that is not always the case with young guys. They fall asleep on that end often, and that is not something I saw with AO at all, which is a very promising sign. He didn't fall asleep on that end. You saw with the Nuggets that, Facu, pound for pound, the best defender of all time, obviously, but he, at the end of the day, he is 5'8". He's not going to be able to guard everybody. And people are going to be able to shoot over him. AO is not that. AO is 6'5" with a 6'8.5" wingspan. He is a big, big point guard and can play bigger than he is. I would not be surprised if he can defend 1 through 4, but right now I have him guarding more so 1 through 3 as a wing/guard defender. And I would be very comfortable playing him in a playoff series initially, I think, just as a defensive specialist. There's not much to say. He's great at fighting through screens. He sticks with his man. He's a tenacious defender. He will get under your skin. He contests pretty well, just a very solid all-around defender. He's not going to be a Matisse Thybulle or a Lou Dort shutting you down completely, but he will make your life harder for you. And that is something that the Nuggets needed with against Chris Paul, against Damian Lillard, against Devin Booker, against a lot of those guys. So, And another thing that I noticed initially was that he is a very natural pick-and-roll ball handler. He does it fantastically. He looks very comfortable operating in that role, and that is something that the Nuggets need. The more offensive weapons you have, the better, and AO can create off the pick and roll. He can create off the dribble too, but in the Nuggets offense, you're mainly going to be running pick and roll with Jokic if you are a lead guard. And if AO was our lead guard, I would feel fine with that. I would feel fine if he was running the bench unit because, you know, he was a very solid pick and roll operator from what I saw. He was making good passes. He was not only making passes to the roll man, but if help came, he would pass to the corner. He would pass to the shoulders. He was a very solid, no low mistake guy. Like, overall, very good at operating that. He looks like he has a great feel for it. And another thing is he operates in the mid-range a lot off that. And a lot of teams play drop coverage in the playoffs, and he could feast off that. He reminds me of Monte Morris a lot in that aspect. Not particularly as a player, but as far as a pick and roll player, I think he is kind of similar to him. Low mistake, high IQ kind of stuff. And he's also a very willing passer. He doesn't try to force too many things. Off the dribble, he has a very solid handle. He can create some space. He's not Kyrie Irving. He's not an elite ball handler, but he is solid enough. He can get to his spots. And he was taking it to the rack very confidently from what I saw. Now, he was struggling a little bit to finish through contact, and that could be a concern in the NBA, but I think that could be fixed throughout time. And on ball, I'm pretty confident with him as a, player. Off ball, on the other hand, while he is a good catch and shoot shooter from what I saw, he has a very good looking form. He catches the ball, shoots it in stride, doesn't really hesitate. He wasn't moving off ball particularly well. He wasn't cutting a ton. Most of the time he was just standing still waiting for the ball. And while you can get away with that in college, and it might have just been the system at Illinois, I'm not entirely sure. I don't watch a ton of college. But it didn't look like he was looking to move. And that would be an issue in the Nuggets offense, but I think throughout time that could be remedied through coaching, through just playing with Jokic, because he makes that a million times easier for anybody. So I'm not too concerned about that, but it is an observation I had. And another thing is that he's a great hustle player, which the Nuggets could always use. Any team could use a good hustle guy. And he was always diving for the boards, crashing the glass, getting passing lanes, that kind of thing. A few times I noticed that while he was crashing the glass, he would let his guy get around him, or he would just kind of like stand still and let his guy get around him. Didn't tend to box out sometimes, but that was rare, far and few between. That didn't happen a ton from what I saw. Sometimes he would have a little bit of a weak contest on things, but overall, pretty good at all that kind of stuff. And so overall, I'd say solid two-way player, good playmaker, not elite, good shooter, not elite, basically good at everything, elite at nothing, jack of all trades kind of guy. Solid athlete, good leaper. He threw down some good dunks when I was watching him. He threw a few lobs, which if you pair that with Aaron Gordon, that would be fantastic. He doesn't do too much. He knows his role. He's good at, entry passes, that kind of thing. Overall, I would grade him at a late first-round pick, but probably around the 20th pick is where I would take him. I would feel very confident in taking AO if I was the Nuggets. And if I had to make an NBA comparison, which not one for one, is like a watered-down Drew Holiday or a worse shooting version of Malcolm Brogdon, those two players would be his ceiling, absolute ceiling. And I think he could be a good long-term starter for the Nuggets next to Jamal Murray, let Jamal Murray operate a little more off-ball. And I think he could be very solid for them in the future. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me know what prospects you want me to cover next. I have probably one on Josh Christopher coming out next, and then Greg Brown. But beyond that, I don't have a ton of people. So, yeah. Let me know what prospects you would want me to cover for the Nuggets in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, go check out Noah. Yeah, thanks for watching.